Just another day here, Jim.
That's exactly right, Dylan.
Just another day.
Here on
Fake Swords.
No, I'm sorry.
What?
This is not your video.
You can't just come in here and...
I can do what I want. Get that fucking chair.
My feelings.
That worked better than I expected.
Who are you? And why are you here? And why is my co-host dead?
Your co-host isn't important here. No. Hi, I'm Harker Ryan. I thought we were here to talk about Empire, no?
Yeah, we are. Usually we have something to talk about, but Dylan had the idea in his head and he's currently disemboweled. Do you have anything you'd like to talk about? Random aggressive lady who's killed my friend?
You know, I really would. I just went to my first Empire.
Oh, did you?
I did. I just had a
convenient.
Totally new experience from a viewpoint that you haven't had in about 2 to 3 years.
That's very true. Bear with me.
According to Empire rules, I'm gonna die in a few seconds.
Yeah, I'm on it. Bear with me for 1 second.
This is my show now.
Stay with me for 1 second.
What are these rules? I have not been familiar with these. I need to learn more about this.
Do you know what the worst bit about this is? You spilled my drink. But you know what the best bit about this
Let
is?
me into shot.
I worked out that this blanket is hydrophobic, so now I have a cool droplet.
I like that the worst thing about this after killing your friend is your drink spill.
It's real hot.
I want to clarify, I wasn't actually dead. I was just bleeding out, but I'm such a convincing role player that I really sold it.
And you didn't stack endurance, so you're actually getting low on time there, I think.
Yeah. Fortitude, actually, Jin.
Fortitude,
yes.
Oh.
Let's be factually correct on this
well,
very,
you didn't You didn't
serious
stack
podcast.
endurance either, because you went down like a little bitch.
Well, that was true.
What
that was
happened
true.
to Unstoppable? Does that not count?
I don't have Unstoppable.
Yeah, we don't actually go down, so we don't need it.
Oh, you're just so
usually
proud
we don't
of
get
that,
jumped
aren't
by
you?
our friends.
Oh, well, that changed that Empire, I'm not going to lie.
So you're Harker.
True.
Hi, I am Harker. Nice
Harker.
to meet you. What's your name?
Tony.
Tony,
And
nice
this
to
is
meet you. How you
Robinson.
doing?
Hi,
Robinson.
Yeah.
How are you getting on?
Yeah. We're actually one person. Robinson is his second name.
Tony Robinson?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
and
see, I
we've
see.
split into 2 people for this.
Yeah.
To have a back and forth.
Oh,
It's an internal monologue
just,
given
you're just
forth.
talking to yourself
It's an
non-stop.
internal dialogue.
Isn't it just any podcast, really? Just an
Can we
internal
please
dialogue?
do the video?
No.
No.
Okay.
That was
I
a
think-
nice attempt, but no.
I think we should start again.
Would you like to die a different way?
No. Welcome to Fake Swords.
Real.
Feelings.
Woo!
Yeah.
Featuring Harker Ryan.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice to be here.
You're welcome.
In your nature office.
In the nature office.
Did I ruin your set by killing one of you?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
it's more I like to have
Get out of my shot, Jim. What is this? Where's my island?
Bring the guests on, instantly ruin everything about where
You know
she
what?
said.
You can knock him around, you can knock over my drink, but I draw the line
At the smut?
obscuring the smut.
Oh, I learned all about the smut at Empire, I'm not gonna lie.
That's a great segue. What else did you learn about Empire?
What was your first thing that you learned at Empire?
Oh, okay. You want to get into
Jim,
this
I'm sorry.
straight
The
away?
smut's going down. They need to see me. I'm just a smutty. I'm wearing a low-cut top for this and everything. That you probably can't see it very well.
I mean, come on now. Who's gonna win that battle?
I've actual.
shit, it's some
You can
chest-
see like
some
my
chest hair
sternum
going.
here.
Like the energy of the show.
You put the two of us together, what did you expect?
Yes, problem.
You have other things where we play D&D together, and this has already come out.
Can we do the show, please?
Okay.
We're only 4 minutes in. Our viewers are going to be.
This is actually very fast for us.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get this going. Come on.
Okay.
Come on now. Be professional on your show, for God's sake. No. So, Empire. I went to Empire, my very first Empire, 2 to 3 weeks ago now?
Yep, 2 weeks ago.
Not very long ago.
Tell us about your character.
Okay, my character's name is Isilth Blade. Isilth is a kind of like a typical D&D ranger class. She is just lived in the woods, really good at archery. She travels to Anvil to find House Glade Warden. Now, House Glade Warden she knew about because she had a House Glade Warden pamphlet that taught sword forms. You never heard about that?
I haven't.
No, I didn't think you would have.
What's a sword?
A sword is this. This is my sword. I bought it at Anvil.
Is that? It's fake though, right?
It's not fake. It's
Okay.
real. Did you not see me kill someone?
Whoa, that's.
Why are we reading smut again? We're in the middle of a video. Okay. Stop it. Put the smut away. No more. Yeah, I travelled to Empire to meet House Glade Warden because I wanted to learn, or she wanted to learn, the bleed is so real. She wanted to learn
Sorry, the
sword
what's
fighting.
real?
The bleed.
You mean the feelings are real?
The feelings are real. It's so true. Oh my god, I get it now. And she wanted to learn sword forms. She wanted to learn sword fighting. So she went to Anvil with the intention of finding this house and demanding training. How did that go?
Not
Earl?
well immediately.
I mean,
Well,
if we ignore a little blip at the start, where you threatened one of the members of my
I'll
house.
tell it from my point of view.
oh yeah, he was actually there.
So we were fighting the Valorn, noble, valorous, glorious House Glade Warden, coming out the gate, venomed to fuck.
I didn't know that at the time. I'm just going to point out.
Venomed
Not that it would have mattered.
fuck.
Yeah, there was venom in our blood and it wasn't good.
It was not good, the venom in our blood. We escaped from the Valorn after decimating them. We stepped through the Sentinel Gate. We got to about as far as the hospital, and then some maniac bursts out of the crowd, puts a knife to Tori's neck,
Oh,
and
yeah.
starts just straight up threatening them. So I
Yep.
did what any responsible
Yep.
house mage would do and repelled her into the hospital.
I-
And that
yep.
was our introduction to Iseult.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how Iseult said hello.
Yeah, she really added Iseult to injury on her.
Hey.
But there wasn't actual injury, so yeah.
Yeah.
She did try add Iseult injury though, yes.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I learned at Empire, actually, because originally I had planned this character to not know any of you. I planned to show up day one and not know a single member of this house. And then 4 days before I left, the person who plays Torgoth, Alan, reached out to me and said, hey, do you want some backstory?
Hi, Alan.
Hi, Alan.
Hi, Alan.
And I thought that would be really interesting because that's a contrast to what I was going to have with everybody else, where I won't know anyone. So Iseult put a knife to their throat because they used to know them a very long time ago, and they were a little bit annoyed at them because Torgoth turned to her and said, I'm sorry, you look familiar. Do I know you?
Classic.
Yeah, and 16 years of friendship really pissed me off that he didn't know me or didn't recognize me. And that is how it began, I'm not gonna lie. And that was not the first time you repelled me, by the way.
It was
or the last sorry, it was the first time. It was
the
not the
first time.
last time.
Far from the last
It
time.
was far from the last time. I don't know how Iseult and Caspian are getting on, but I guess we'll find out.
At about distance of about 20 feet.
Okay,
That's so
so
true.
in general, what was your, like, if you had to summarize this in a nice little bite-sized chunk that we can maybe post on social media,
Oh, sure, yeah.
how would you find your first Empire experience?
My first Empire experience was absolutely fantastic. It was all-encompassing. It was full-on. I did not have like a minute of reprieve. That was kind of self-inflicted though. Like you don't have to
There
go
could
to...
have been a minute of reprieve.
Yeah. I just
it was
didn't
so
want
good you
one.
elected not to take it.
Yes, exactly. And that's not to put anyone off and go, oh my god, this is a lot. You have to be constantly going. But I was always eyeing you up going, can we go skirmish? Can we go skirmish? Can we go skirmish?
Yep.
Please, as much as possible.
Yeah, we skirmished a lot that game.
Well, we did too,
We
which
tried.
is more than a lot of the
did.
times we
We also queued up for
didn't we?
we
more.
tried to do three.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the kidnapped wife.
The kidnapped wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That song never left my head. But
Yeah.
that's a different story.
Yeah. Anyway, this isn't a Jim and Dylan talkback episode. This
Nope.
is a
Oh, it's true. It's true.
this is Harker's here, and she's gonna tell you lovely people at home the beginner experience
Yes.
of what it's like to go to your first Empire event. So like,
Yep, she's going to tell you all about it. She's going to be Harker the Herald.
Ooh, that's kind of cool. I
Yeah.
like that.
and when she harks, you're all gonna listen.
Yeah, so hark away.
Okay, so the first thing, I thought I was real prepped. I'm not going to lie. I had watched all of Fake Swords, Real Feelings. I had...
that was your first mistake.
Yeah, I know, right?
You're actually probably the opposite of correct.
I thought, I have multiple hours of research put into this. I know you two. I've
Yep.
talked to you two. We had like proper Zoom meetings to prep me to what I
Yep.
need to know about going to this. And that was my first mistake. Because I thought of the scale of Empire. And you had constantly said, listen, it's massive. You're going to feel like lost. You're going to feel overwhelmed. And I was like, nah, you've told me about this. I know what to expect now. And also, I've been to music festivals that are like 50,000 people. And this is like 6. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. I was gassed from the moment I left my car on day 1 to getting to find you guys. It was a 35-minute trek to find you. It is absolutely massive. Do not make my mistake. Do not underestimate the size of it. It is just enormous. I saw maybe 10% of it in 4 days.
Yeah.
At the minimum, you should estimate it.
Yeah, that's true. That would have been better, because there was so many simple mistakes, and I'll get into that I did not prepare for, thinking it was going to be smaller than I expected. Even though you two had been like, "Listen, it's huge. You're going to be like walking a lot. You're going to be seeing a lot of things." Does he just leave in the middle of your show quite often?
Ignore him.
Okay. Just wondering.
A little bit of backstory to that is the last time we shot an episode of Fake Ceilings, whatever this thing is,
Fake
Fake
ceilings.
Ceilings.
Fake ceilings.
Fake ceilings, real floors.
The ceilings are fake, but the fourth wall is real.
Fake floors, real ceilings.
No,
Because
what?
fake swords, real feelings.
Well
yeah,
done,
yeah,
well done.
The last time we did it, we
There's a
recorded
mic here.
I don't
can't
care.
do this.
My mic is over there.
This mic is here.
I'm
And also-
going to bang the table.
It's okay because we
lot.
missed the first 4 minutes of recording via it.
Yes.
That's what we were whispering
It's
about
okay.
a second ago.
But also, like, actually, no, Jim, you should know better. Me and Ryan have slapped you and a lot.
can I hit him for it? This
no,
is great. Oh.
I meant verbally slapped him.
I
Okay.
don't respect this microphone.
You will when you hear how much better it is than yours.
Fighting words.
That's his
you hear
stuff.
that, Road? You hear that? Harker Ryan thinks this is an inferior product.
Shush, shush, shush.
Okay, there's gonna be a part where we just edited it out.
It's fine. My companies can fight over my love.
Second point. Then.
Scale.
Do you have
Oh,
points? Do you have prepared points?
I do, but I don't. Unlike you, I don't need to read them.
Fuck. She's a professional, guys.
I don't feel comfortable with this level of professionalism.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm bringing too much
I
emotion.
need a comfort list.
I-
Dylan, get me a comfort list.
I feel like I should be wearing a suit or something.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me
I'm not
roll
good.
down my sleeves.
I'm not good enough. I need to hide my face.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me make you feel better, because I don't know these off by heart.
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
just
thank God.
lying.
Everything is a lie.
It's
Everything
fake.
is a lie, people.
Everything is fake.
There will be more fake swords. We will continue making the show.
Yeah, in terms of the scale, I think the scale's a really interesting point because it is a lot smaller, but like it's all very, very new as well. And I know, like, Jim, we've talked about this before on the show. Like, it can be very overwhelming.
Oh yeah.
You know,
God.
and especially because like your point about it, you know, you've been to a bigger music festival. It was really interesting, but at a music festival, you kind of know what to expect.
Yes.
And like you walk through it, and it's like, that's a person. That's a person.
Yep.
In Empire, you're like, that's someone with a massive sword. That's an orc.
But
that's
also-
someone with antlers.
Yeah, that's so true.
Also, at a music festival, there's a lot less. I'd imagine. I don't do many music festivals. I'm a loser. I would imagine there's a lot less people like walking up to you and giving you quests and shit.
Yeah.
Like it's probably not as hyper interactive. I'd imagine there's a level of like, oh hey, come here and look at this or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's not going to be like, I need you to come with me and fight some monsters. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. And
Like, every person is a potential fucking
Yeah.
story you're going to have to learn and be a part of.
absolutely.
you know?
And the level of lore that is involved, like I spent so much of E1 just listening. Just listening to conversations, being like, right, I'm going to learn this by listening. Because, like, you can't learn the wiki before you go in
you
its
can't-
entirety.
Like, I'm 9 games in, and I know probably 0.4% of the wiki. Like,
Yeah.
Huge. You pick, like, I would say cherry pick 1 or 2 things that are going to come up in the one you're going to. Like, I knew about the Deadwood Knight. That
Yep.
was a story that you had told me about, and then I went and read the lore about it, and that actually worked really well because we went to 2 meetings about that, and I followed you to them because I was like, this is a bit of lore I know, I can have fun here.
And this is something
actually
you can
know,
be present in and
Yeah.
like actually engage with rather than
yeah.
just being like, what's going on?
I think a
Yeah.
good thing to do if it's your first Empire, because you're absolutely right, there is too much for one person to take in,
Yeah.
is learn the lore about where you come from, what's going on in your
Yes.
region at the moment,
Yes.
Yeah.
and what the big storyline for your nation and the Empire.
Yep.
Learn 3 storylines, and then you'll have more than enough to keep you going. So if you can say, I live in Weirwood, the Deadwood Knight is causing trouble.
Yeah.
And then you can say, I'm in Dawn, we just took the Barons. I can talk about that. And it's the Empire, we have a new Empress, and we're now, or an Emperor, sorry, and we're now at war with the Grendel.
Yeah.
Like, 3 storylines, that'll do you more than enough for the weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, that absolutely would have gotten you through E1, like because they were the big 3 things that were coming up around Dawn as well, like as you said.
Yeah.
So yeah, scale is interesting. Like you said, you're gonna spend a lot of time overwhelmed. I spent the entire Thursday, which is the not play day, so overwhelmed just walking around the place. And like I made the mistake of needing to immediately go shopping the moment I got there.
That's not a mistake. That's crucial, and it's important you do it.
But like there are so many choices, and if you are like me who has like decision or purchase anxiety, where you're like just seeing everything in front of you, and there's 50 types of swords, and there's 50 types of arrows or bows or bracers, and you're just like, how do I don't know this character, I don't know what they want, I don't know what they're wearing. Like trying to do that the very first thing was overwhelming. I was very lucky to have you and the rest of the house and Alan to like just drive me through shops and go, look, just get this is all you need to begin with and you'll be fine. And I like borrowed so many things off of people. There was the kindness and the generosity of the people that are around you is immeasurable, and I will say that with my whole heart. Like people were just like, do you want this, do you want this, do you need this, do you have this, like what do you need, and just they kitted me from head to toe essentially. And I bought like 2 things. I bought a sword and I bought some arrows that I immediately lost in the first fight. You will lose your arrows, that's not a point on its own.
Being an archer is just going into a field and throwing £10 notes at each other.
Do you think, because obviously you said there that Thursday kind of, obviously you were very, very overwhelmed with the Thursday, but do you think that being there on the Thursday helped you then settle into the Friday a lot?
1000%. I don't know what kind of weekend I would have had if I had only turned up like 2 hours before playtime.
So would you say that it's a very good idea and that you would recommend people going to Thursday?
Oh, absolutely. Like just being able to see everything with no pressure of figuring out your character and acting and role playing, and just you can just go and take it in and take as much time as you need on the Thursday to figure it out. That was crucial, like absolutely crucial for me.
I would have loved that because we showed up about 4 hours before time in the first time we went.
Yeah.
And we didn't have anyone even to tell us.
Yeah.
No,
Like
and
we were
we
absolutely dry. You all know the story.
Yeah.
If not, go back to episode 1.
Yeah, set up our tent, rushed to get
Face taker.
get our swords, went to the new player skirmish, and then it was like boom, and now we're in the game, and we're like,
oh my god, I don't think I could have done that, because I did, and this is not important, but I did this like walk to Mordor when I got there. I parked incredibly far away. I walked through. I didn't realize that was like a whole thing. Don't park in the wrong car park. Ask people. The staff are incredibly helpful. Ask them instead of just going, I'll just go this way. Oh my god, I'm like an acre away or 3 acres away from where I'm meant to be. But anyway, I went through and I got to the thing, and you had texted me being like, yo, just tell me when you're here and we'll come get you, we'll come find you. And I was like, no, I'm gonna like have my walk through Mordor. So I walked through every nation, and
Which was
I
a great
asked
idea,
every nation, where am I, what nation am I in? And even though people were out of character, they were like, you're in the leagues. I'm like, great, where's Dawn? And they'd be like, that way. And it was just this trail all the way through, and then like to culminate in finding your camp in Dawn, which I felt like I wasn't going to get to do in character the following day, but that's what she was gonna do. So I got to like out of character, in character, just experience the trek. And then I arrived and went, oh my god, I'm not okay. What is going on? And just melted. And it took a few hours of recovery and just learning the space to figure that out.
Nice.
Yeah. Next point. Segue. And the amount...
I was about to say,
hashtag segue. Perfectly
you very
segued.
nicely segued into your third point there.
Oh, have I? Oh, you're
You've
right,
kind of
actually.
already
Okay,
covered
well,
your third
yeah,
point
yeah, that's very
almost.
true. So I almost didn't go to E1. Right? I was meant to be going to E2. I was not meant to be going to E1.
Poor decision.
But that's our fault.
It is fully your fault. I got added into the house WhatsApp group by you. And I was like, don't add me in until June, because I'll have FOMO. And you were like, ha, no. And then you added me in. And then a week and a half before Empire, I bought a ticket. Because I couldn't last any longer listening to how good it was going to be. And I was like, no, I'm going now. Oh God, what do I need in 9 days, basically? And that was not the way to prep for Empire, but that's how we did it. And then I turned up, and the reason, okay, to be fair, the reason I was like, I'm not going to E1, I'm not ready for E1 was kit. I had nothing made, I had barely owned anything, and I felt like I couldn't make a good enough kit to go, and that was stupid. That is the worst idea, like reason to not go and enjoy yourself at something, is because you feel like you're not going to look the right way.
Particularly because, and I'm sure Jim at this point will add in like lots of cool like overlays of like pictures of Harker in kit. You looked great. Like your kit was really, really good.
Yeah.
Like way more, like way better than our first kits, you know?
I'll overlay that for sure.
But again, so much of that was borrowed. Like I made base layers to bring with me. I made a Dawn tabard, which I had a few days to make. That was like, that's what she's going to turn up in. She's going to turn up as Dawnish, not as a part of House Glade Warden. So I had put this extra challenge on myself of like, I need 2 to 3 kits going.
Which is a wild choice.
I don't do things by halves.
I know, but you you get little sympathy
So
from
much
me
work
from
done.
that because
Yeah,
you brought that on
right.
yourself.
The night before I was making a cloak, being like, I need a cloak. Oh no, I don't have a Danish
Oh, that's
Yeah, but
fare.
that's just
standard
that's
fare,
LARP
yeah.
crunch.
That's
I
fair.
mean, a few hours before Teddy, thank you so much. Well,
Yeah, sorry, can we interrupt this to say thank you, Teddy, so much for doing our tabards.
yeah, the buckles on our tabards.
Fully
was-
just walked
Yeah.
up and was like, I'll do that for you, and then spent
Yeah.
hours.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't think it was
Doing
going to take that long. I really did, so I really appreciate it. So,
Teddy
yeah.
also armored me. Like literally
Yeah, yeah.
within minutes of meeting them, they were like, "Do you need armor? Here, have this." And I was like, it was the most perfect thing someone could have pulled out of their bag for my
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, just
I was
grade 1
like,
armor.
This is incredible.
You saw it in the picture I may or may not have overlaid.
Yeah. So I just turned up with base layers, and no, he's gone again. This
Yeah,
is
I
just a
don't-
thing
I
that
don't-
keeps happening.
I don't know.
The paranoia that we're not recording. What have you done to him?
I don't know.
It's founded. It's founded. We recorded the whole episode, and when I went back, we had 30 seconds. So
Okay, that's
if it was
fair,
a
that's
more
fair, that's fair.
professional production, I wouldn't do this.
But we have a monitor screen now. I
yeah,
wish
but
I
it's not. It's not displaying it, and I'm not going to go and fiddle with tech. Hi, me.
Hi, me.
It's not displaying whether we're recording or not. So
Yeah,
anyway,
true.
next point, please.
Oh, we're going. Okay.
No.
Uh,
There's still probably more on
no,
that point. I
No,
would
it's
say.
just like what I was saying is don't let that put you off.
Yeah.
Get a few basic things from like this kind of t-shirt. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
You can
Get
get
yourself-
super easy
yeah.
ones from like any online multi-national corporation that we hate that I won't mention in this video.
Yeah, named after
Please
a
don't.
large swathe of forest.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or get it when you're there as well. You can get it from.
Oh my god,
vendors
yeah.
there. But with kit, I'm always like, have at least a base layer
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
Right. So get yourself, like the guys are
Yeah.
saying, something like, fucking, if you have to, go into Marks and Sparks and get yourself a brown pair of leggings
Yeah.
at the very least.
Yeah.
It's so easy
I
to
know-
add on while you're
yeah.
there.
Like I know Hefty Eddie I think has done a full video on like
He does one every year. I
yeah, of
think.
like
yeah.
how to gear something up completely
Yeah.
there for like
Yeah.
less than £200 or something. So like pretty decent. I personally wouldn't recommend that because I think I personally anyway would want that kind of little safety blanket of like
Yeah.
at least I have a somewhat acceptable base look. Okay, maybe I don't have a lot of embellishments or a super load of layers, but like it's your first event. Kit is aspirational. You'll manage.
Yeah, especially if you know people going or you're meeting people there that you know, someone knows someone who has like a pair of grievers in their backpack not being used. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It, like, and
100%.
everyone is so kind about letting you borrow that for battle. Or that's what happened to me. I turned up with like knowing that I was borrowing a few things off of you. I went to God and they were like, that doesn't count as medium armor. It's not like you have 2 hit points. And I was like, oh, how am I going to manage this? And then Teddy was like, here you go, like have this.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I was able to.
Like we bring a bag of armor just to give to people who need armor every event. No,
And-
it's rusty and
And
shit.
lots of
works.
groups do the same thing. There's
Yeah.
loads of people.
There's OC and IC people just loaning out armor. Like you can walk into some of the houses in Dawn and be like, hey, I heard you're armoring people up, and walk out in full clank. Like, you know, it's crazy.
So one mistake I made was so everyone told me this and again I didn't do it. Pack everything you don't think you need. Like I was going at a time of year that I was like, it's gonna be cold. I don't need sunscreen. I don't need like Lipsol or whatever. All the things I didn't pack were so necessary. My skin went to bits on the first day and I had nothing to save me. I didn't know anything because I thought, oh, it's fine. It's just winter. And then you live in a field for 4 days out in the elements. Just absolutely anything you don't need for the time of year, bring it anyway.
Yeah.
It's so important. It will save you from like the pain of whatever has happened, your sunburn that you got in the middle of winter somehow or anything like that.
Because you're also outside for most of it all day, which is something not a lot of people do.
Yeah, I was not
you
used
know?
to that at all.
So yeah.
So bring stuff to deal with exposure. Bring hydration tablets.
Yeah.
Bring sun cream. Bring
So much.
lots of water. Make sure you can get them on site. They're a dime a dozen. Some kind of container for liquid.
Yeah.
Especially coming into E2, 3, and 4 because it's very, very, very hot usually.
Insoles. Literally, that could be a whole thing on its own.
I've never used insoles, and everyone had them in this event and was walking around like insoles are the best.
Insoles of
And I
the.
was
I
like,
couldn't walk after my first day. Literally all of Thursday, and at the end I was like, oh my god, what have I done to myself? How am I going to do 3 days of this? My feet are killing me.
Footwear is incredibly important in general, yeah.
I made the mistake of being like, oh, I'm going to bring only aesthetic footwear and having these long leather boots that are laced up, and couldn't walk after like 5 hours because I'm not used to like spending a ton of time walking through mountains or anything, and you're on uneven ground all the time.
Yeah.
And I did not anticipate the difference that would make to like your legs, your muscle usage, and how tiring that is.
Yeah.
Until it saved my life the next 3 days.
I saw, and I'm going to get them for Caspian as my next kit purchase, Arm Street. Do you know Arm Street?
Oh, don't get me started on those boots.
The parkour fantasy shoes. They're like modern runners, but they're like done up as like knee-high fantasy boots.
They look amazing. And
They're
like
my
the
next
soles on them
purchase.
are like look like dragon scales the way they're done. Like, yeah.
Arm Street, if you're watching this, I am
Sponsor
a
them.
professional videographer.
I am
Send
really
me
good.
a set
I am
of
a-
them,
I'm a
and
size-
I will make you.
I'm a UK 10.5. Please and thank you.
I will make you the coolest fantasy parkour video using them. Like, no fucking joke. It'll be like Assassin's Creed. What's that? It's the Arm Street shoe ad. That's where it's at.
I want a clip of you doing parkour now because you need to prove this.
We have
So much.
so much. Yeah,
Put it
that's
in.
So
that's
much of that.
not-
Right now.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
3, 2,
I'm going
1.
to reset the camera. It's been about half an hour.
Holy shit, Jim, that parkour was so
It was
epic.
so good.
That brought me back to 2005.
I'm good at parkour battles and all that.
Parkour battles, yeah.
Parkour battles.
Do you want to go on a parkour, a night mission?
Yeah,
do
we'll go on a night mission, bruv. Yeah.
Incredibly deep cut that none of our listeners
None
will
of our
get.
listeners, none of our viewers are going to get
Basically, right. Now I'm gonna explain it because I
No,
have to.
god damn it. Okay,
It'll
5
take
minutes.
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
It
30 seconds.
probably will, yeah.
Me and Jim went to this place in France called Nice, which is like a suburb of Paris where parkour was born.
Okay.
Every.
And it was like, yeah, it was also Nice.
Nice is the town. Every is the suburban area.
This is
where parkour
important
was actually
information.
born.
Fair,
Very
okay.
important information.
Anyway, we were there with some English guy, and at some point, because you all stay in this one hotel, and there's just loads of other people who do parkour who
The Hotel
end up like
Formula
it's basically just a pilgrimage spot. And some other guy came over. I don't even remember his name. We'll call him Mark. And Mark came over and was like, "Oh, what's up, you Irish lads? Do you want to go on the parkour? Or I keep messing up. Do you want to go on a night
Go
mission?
on a night mission.
A night mission." And then so he just went and got topless and did push-ups in like a parking lot for like 30 minutes.
We didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, it was real weird.
But he was just like, all right, here we are.
How is that a night mission?
I don't know. Anyway,
back to Empire.
yeah.
Learn every magic call if you're gonna battle. And learn the ones that, like the hero skills you don't have. I didn't do that because I didn't roll a mage. I didn't, like make a magic character. So I was like, I don't need to know magic. And I didn't make a character. I made a character that had 2 hero things. And then I monstered. And my monster could do stuff I had no idea what it was. Because if you go to battle, you have to monster. So I had to really quickly try and learn, what does unstoppable mean? I didn't have that. Or what does relentless mean? I didn't have that. And it is so overwhelming. Like, battle is incredibly fun. It's the most fun thing to do, I would say. But it's overwhelming to try and get, like, when you're getting hit with a sword and to go, wait, what was it? Was it relentless or was it unstoppable? I had, shit, what did that mean as well? And, like, you haven't reacted in time and then the thing doesn't make any sense.
My first few battles, I didn't know those things and I elected to just die.
Yeah, kind of where I went with it. But it's so helpful to know that stuff going in than trying to learn it 10 seconds before you're about to fight, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other part of that I didn't learn was heals, because I wasn't a mage. I wasn't a healer. And then I had someone, went down, I got shot with an arrow because you didn't defend me well. And I got shot with an arrow. I definitely wasn't being irresponsible.
We're monsters. We did not care.
No, this
about
is-
No,
the actual battle.
no. In the actual battle, I
we
went
did
down.
not care about you.
Yeah, exactly. As Isolt, I got hit with an arrow. I got impaled. I knew what that meant because I'm an archer, and I went down. And then there was suddenly someone over me, like doing roleplay and healing me. And then so yous were actually directly in front of me fighting. And I just
I
felt
do
this
remember
like
that, yeah.
movement, and because I was
So
giving.
we were protecting you, really.
Yeah,
You
sure.
could have protected
You
yourself
knew
better
I
by
was-
not getting hit by an arrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Like, the 90s were very clear about this.
Yeah, it's your fault. So I went down. Someone's healing me. I'm just screaming. Like I'm dying. I've been shot in the gut. All I'm doing is screaming. I'm writhing on the ground. I have my eyes closed. I don't know what's happening. I open my eyes. Someone's standing over me, trying to heal me, trying to do the 30 seconds of roleplay you have to do. And then we feel this like, just, I don't know how to describe it, but I open my eyes and I look up and the line is on top of us. They have like pulled back. There's people's feet hitting our legs and we don't know what's happening. And this lovely mage, I don't know who you are, but if you see this, thank you so much. Or healer, I should say. I keep using the word mage. They just went, no, never mind, there's no time. Swift heal, and stabbed me in the chest. I don't know what that meant. What is that? What does it give you? I have no idea what was happening. And then I popped up and just went, okay, cool. Kept fighting and had no idea. And I didn't even stop to think, how much health do I have? What does this mean?
Yeah.
I just assumed I was back to full and I ran off. And actually, I played the rest of that day with like 2 hit points or 3 hit points or something. And I had no clue because I didn't learn that before I started fighting.
Yeah.
Because it never crossed my mind that like, oh, if I might need to know what all these things mean. What did you just do? What was the...
An insect flew into my eye and then died, and its head fell off when it hit the table. So I was momentarily
hardcore.
distracted.
I did try to focus on you as you were saying that, but
I saw-
that was way too...
I saw the chaos happening in the peripheral, but I was professional and I kept going.
Yeah, you were.
So was the bug. You have to go to self-decapitate.
The book was recreating the story I was telling at the time. Yeah, just learn everything that might happen to you in battle. It makes things way easier than you're trying to learn at the moment. Like I remember going down, right? I knew what the counting thing was. I knew the bleed. My character had a thing, I think it was relentless, was it? That I get an extra minute.
Fortitude.
Still don't know what they are. So I had 4 minutes to bleed out. I forgot to start counting. Like, I was on the ground acting so much that I didn't even count. Thankfully, I was healed in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But like, if that hadn't been 10 seconds, at least a minute would have passed before I realized, oh, bollocks, what am I meant to be doing here?
And then you start counting and you're trying to reverse engineer how long you've been on the ground. And be
Yeah.
like, well, I feel like this is how long I've been counting that I wasn't counting, so I'll double what I'm on.
And it means
Nightmare.
you can react better. I remember my monster had a thing that I could put my leg back on,
Yeah,
Yeah.
relentless.
relentless, and I got cleaved, and I'd spent like 10 seconds trying to remember what the hell I was meant to remember to put it back on, and then I just died because I didn't know. However, monstering is incredibly fun because you get to be super irresponsible because it's not your character. And it doesn't matter. So I just spent the entire time monstering running directly into shield walls to see what that was like.
Yeah,
It's really, really, really fun.
very
The
fun. Also,
opposite of what you were doing because you were like holding ground
Yeah.
for ages.
that was really fun. Also, 2 shout-outs for that monstering battle real quick. The guy who threw about 6,000
Oh my god,
knives in the
Mr. Joy
water.
Knife? Or
What the fuck?
whoever?
We walked
Joy
into
my
Knife
the
was
God,
your
yeah.
hero.
Yeah.
No joke, about 200 knives this guy had thrown,
Yeah.
and he still had like 2 bandoliers. Hero.
Yeah.
Don't target the dude with the shield next time, though. Go for the guys without the shield.
Yeah.
And secondly, I think I was the first Jotun to hit the Wintermark line. No, the Varushka line. So I want to say very, very thank you to the Varushkin who finally put me down and then told me to get up out of the wet ground and run off. Dead sound of you. I was fully ready to just stay there in a plank position so my torso wasn't hit the ground.
Yeah.
And he's like, just get up and go.
Yeah.
Whoever you are, thank you so much.
I had a ref do that to me because I didn't listen. And I was like, no, I'm dying. I want to die. Like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Because it was every time you're going to die. And I did it over and over and over again. And I was like rolling around. And then the ref was like, just get up. Like, stop beating the grass. Like
The
this.
sun's right in my face.
Oh, no.
Keep speaking. No,
Just come over this way a little
I'm,
bit.
I'm trying.
There's more room this way. There's loads of room. What is happening?
What are you doing?
I'm sitting on the arms of the chairs.
That's
He's in shot.
I'm in
it's all
shot,
good.
just about.
He's in shot.
Silly.
He's still in the sun, though.
It's not directly in my eyes. So it's not as
sunglasses
bad.
somewhere. You could wear them.
That's what I was looking for earlier.
Yeah, I have them literally here somewhere.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah,
Ignore me.
The ref will tell you, you don't need to roll in the wet ground, and because it was a mud swamp that morning.
Oh, it was like there was like 2 inches of water
Yeah.
on the ground beneath the grass. Like,
But it was super fun.
It was
I was like, I
very
want to
cool.
die. I want to do it. I want to give good roleplay. And I had gotten to watch you. Oh, he's the one who's left now. What is this production?
I don't know what he's
For your
doing.
glasses.
Oh, they are
Just-
around.
That's not an important reason to leave.
No,
You
I
keep
don't
talking.
feel like it is.
Yeah.
I want to judge him for it.
Did
though.
he check the camera while he was?
He found some.
Did you
There
at
you
least check the
go.
camera?
They're going to be so tiny on your
Yeah,
head.
we've got 5 minutes left.
Cool.
Nice, nice.
Sorry. So yes.
Just, yeah, it's really fun to die. It's
What
really
did
fun
I
to
do? You're
monster.
gonna talk about
oh,
me?
I was going to talk about you. You're so good.
Thank you.
I watched you execute so many people in the battle, and I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever watched, because
I
I was an archer, so I was really removed from the front line, so I got to see a lot of stuff. Which, if anyone wants to battle and a really good introduction, where are you going now?
I bought an execution knife and an execution scabbard for it. So like,
Oh, I didn't know that was new.
yeah, I bought
That's
it this
so
event. So
cool.
I just had this on my hip the whole time, and anytime somebody went down,
It was
out
so
came the
good.
because it what's the name we settled on it? It was going to be between like the blade of deforestation because I killed a load of Valheim
like
with
Weed
it.
Whacker? No, not Weed Whacker.
It was like the Weed Whacker, but it had a much better name.
You came up with a
came up
better
with one.
name that was more not ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it was a cool name too.
it's
yeah.
gone now. Anyway, it'll have
Yeah.
to re-earn its name.
It was
Yeah.
very good.
I got to execute a crab. That was great.
Yeah, I shot that. I shot it with an arrow.
Very fun to execute that. I kicked the fuck out of that crab.
Very good.
Yeah, the Emerald Lance really showed that crab what's what. I was really sad, and it's the one thing that I've regret about Empire, and I've never had a regret about Empire before,
That's a good video. Regrets about Empire.
but that I didn't shout crabs
One
are
thing.
cute.
That would have been amazing. But I watched you execute so many Grendel, right?
Grendel, yeah.
And I was like, I want to do that. That's so cool. But I didn't do it because I was intimidated. And I was like, I don't know what to say. I'm not going to execute anybody. But when I was monstering, I had the flip. I really wanted to be executed. I wanted to give someone like that moment of like, come on, do it.
Yeah.
So I was lying on the ground loads, and the refs were just like, come on, like, you don't have to do this. Get up and go back and
Yeah.
respawn. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But I want to be executed.
That's fair. Can I just interject
No.
really quickly? Dylan, you look really cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
That's the first time anyone's ever said that to me.
Aw.
Yeah, don't get your ego up or anything, but you do look quite cool right now.
Can I get my ego to like a normal person level?
Not quite there, but you're almost there.
Yes.
Still lowly, but cool.
Do you want to do your SD card in this moment before we move on?
Yeah, I may as well.
You're going to hurt someone. Or you might. When you're battling, no matter where
Try
you
not
try...
to.
Try not to. Try not to, but
A
be
light
prepared
tap.
in case you do.
Yeah.
It's so intense. There's so much adrenaline going. Whether you're swinging a sword or you're using a polearm or you're throwing a knife, no matter how much you aim, you might accidentally hit someone in
There
the
will
face.
be times where like you aim for a shoulder, they get jostled by the
Yeah.
line, you accidentally hit them on the side of the nose or something.
Yeah, it's
you know?
so possible. It's like you are all doing the same thing. And I unfortunately did that at the very beginning.
The first arrow you shot.
Yep, yeah, I did. There was 2 lines. It was the beginning of battle. We had just gone through Sentinel Gate, meaning we were just in the field to start fighting. We were like minutes in. Nobody had swung a sword. I was standing behind all of you. And I was like, sweet, we're beginning. And I just pulled an arrow and I saw this orc who was just giving it socks and like gesturing and posturing and roaring at our line.
He was very good.
He was
Yeah.
so good. And I loosed an arrow.
Briefly.
And I did not shoot him in a good place.
I'd
And
say chances of procreation for that at work are limited.
It was definitely a headshot.
Oh no.
right in the eye. No.
This is a Christian channel.
You started it. Yeah, so I hurt someone. Like I dropped, and they dropped. No, they have reassured me if I have found the right person afterwards, because I put up a post on Facebook being like, if this was you, I'm sorry.
And a lot of that resonated with a lot of people.
It did. But as an archer, when you loose an arrow, once it's gone, you can't control where it's going. So
You can't
if
take it
someone,
back.
if someone moves or if it drops more than you think it's going to, you might hit someone somewhere sore. This is my regret from Empire. This is my one massive, truly I feel bad about this regret, is I didn't break character and go apologize, which I wish I could have done. I was panicking. We were 2 minutes into a fight. There was lines facing off each other. I loosed that arrow. I watched that person crumple to the ground, and I ducked back and hid. And I panicked.
I think in a situation like that where the lines are 20 feet away from each other, it's much harder to break character and go apologize. You did, I think, the right thing in trying to find them afterwards to give them an apology. That's how I would have handled it.
Yeah.
Or like wait until the battle is over, find a ref
Yeah.
and be like, yo, were they okay? How can I find them to say sorry or whatever?
That's kind of why I didn't, because I was like, oh, we're in a really intense situation. Everyone's about to like mill at each other, and I didn't want to be the person who had to be like, literally, I hold everybody up to walk across to go, I'm so sorry, are you actually okay?
I mean, even in that situation, the refs were like, we can't stop it for that. We're real sorry. The battle continued, and his mates just kind of like dragged him away.
Like,
I didn't see it.
I'm sure he was.
I hid.
I'm sure he was hurt, but he wasn't injured.
But I didn't
which
know.
I
I think there was probably a lot of the showman in that as well. Because, like, he was kind of going. Maybe he was. Maybe he was in a lot of pain. But he was. It seemed like he was making a bit out of it a bit as well.
That was my read on it too. That he's like, okay, he's just extra selling this, which is
if
fun.
it wasn't the case.
Sorry. I hope it was
rather entertaining for the line.
Yeah.
The line did find that entertaining, but I didn't intend it, and there is still a part of me that is really like, you know what, I don't know if they were actually hurt, and I really wish I could have just gone over and gone, I'm so sorry, are you okay? Did I do, just apologize. Because you might actually hurt somebody, and it is always okay
I know.
it is always okay to break character to go check on someone, is what I've learned. No matter the situation.
100%. OC checkups take precedence.
Yeah.
Like always.
I can't read the phone now because I have these.
It's also locked.
It is.
Yeah.
Technical
can't Face ID.
difficulties on fake swords and refeelings. I just absolutely mangled that.
No, it's about refeelings about eels that do live within the reef.
Okay, I think finally, to recap back to the very first point of this, setting up a game is an interesting thing as a beginner. I went in a very privileged position of knowing all of you, having like kind of set up a thing beforehand of, hey, I'm going to walk in as this character, they're not going to know you, they're going to want to find you, they're going to want to demand training, and that basically gave me the first few hours, or it would have, and until I wrote this backstory with Alan, and then me and Tori also had this massive storyline throughout a weekend. And if I hadn't done that, I have no idea what the weekend would have been. So if you are going to Empire as a person who knows no one, maybe jump on like the Facebook, maybe jump on Discords, and like just get to know people out of character, so you have a bit of a link of like, oh, well, I'll know this person, I get to go meet their character. And like even just set up those minute conversations of game to make things easier, because it is overwhelming when you begin. And like you guys, so actually this is a great example. The reason like we ended up at Sentinel Gate and I was putting a knife to Tori's throat was because you guys had a skirmish from the beginning. You were on a skirmish 5 minutes into time in, which was when I had planned my character to go up and find you. So that wildly changed the first 2 hours of my game of oh god, they won't be there. And I was like wandering dawn, meeting people and talking to people and like making allies or whatever you would call it, like as my character. And that's an interesting challenge, because like it's your first time that you'll be there. If it's your first time going, you're gonna walk up and just meet total strangers, both in and out of character, and it's really worthwhile doing. That's kind of the point, is to go talk to people's characters and get to know them. And now I have like these little allies and all of these little camps that I'll go back and visit the next time and grow and grow and grow. But if I had gone with literally nothing, absolutely nothing in my head of I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what I'm going for, I don't know where my character's going, and not written any of that, I think I would have found it real difficult, I guess.
Is
this resonating a little bit?
Well, both of you have shared regrets now, so I think I'll share my regret. Not even so much a regret, but I'll phrase it in a way that if I could go back to Empire and be a beginner again, that's the main thing I would do differently. I don't think I would do a whole lot more differently, but reaching out to someone and just to be like, hey, this is the kind of vibe that we want for our house. Can we get some sort of like allies ahead of time that we would have.
We have a relationship with another house ahead of time or something like that.
And because like in the world as well, right? If you're kind of struggling to like, oh, how do I justify that for the game and for like, for it to be an immersive experience, you know who your neighbors are, You've lived in this world for years. You
Yeah.
know people. It is completely understandable and feasible and reasonable to be like, actually, yeah, we're at so and so's birthday party and we met and this is why. And you're like, oh, have you never been to an Anvil Summit? You should come to an Anvil Summit. Like there's so many ways of justifying that and making that work in character that helps you out of character so much.
There's so many topics and issues in the Empire as well that you can go into. So every like nation has a Facebook page. So say you're in Wintermark, you can be like, okay, I'm joining the Wintermark thing, and you can be in and be like, yo, this is our group. Is it a hall in Wintermark, I think, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, you can be like, this is our hall. We're going to be new at Anvil. We really want game around, say, the Valorn. And then there might be someone be like, oh, you should talk to these. Because their hall has history with the Valorn. And then, you can trade IC letters or something before.
Yeah.
And that gives you then an excuse when you get to the field to walk up and be like, ho ho. I don't know how to say hi.
That
like,
ho ho.
Ho ho.
Ho-ho.
It's me.
Ho-ho.
I like the Valorn. And then they'll be like, actually, we don't like the Valorn.
Sorry.
Sorry, we're having a problem here.
Anyway.
This has gone on too long now. This is awkward. Why are we still doing it?
Yeah, and because we had someone approach us. We had someone approach us in a very similar way, and they, should email and be like, or message us and said,
Unstoppable?
Relentless.
But I see, I still can't get it.
I was like, oh, actually have my character backstory seems like it would gel with your character's backstory. Is there anything that we can kind of work out there? And we're like, yeah, cool. Let's organize something to meet up. And at least that gives you some sort of like tangible, I know I'm welcome here at this time to do this one thing, as a kind of like ease your feet in.
Get a few friendly faces on the field.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I did with Tori. Like me and Tori were like, or me and Alan were like, yo, let's know each other. Let's write a childhood backstory together. They haven't seen each other since they were 15. So like 17 years have passed or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. And that gave me so much game for the weekend of like, okay, who are these characters to each other? Are they angry at each other? Why did they stop talking? And it just went through like 3 days of role-playing what that story was. That came from one message. Literally one message of, do you want to know each other? And then we just like sparked this story of, yeah, okay, cool. And we wrote it into like the Glade Warden. Like I gave him the Glade Warden out of time on Thursday, and he secretly signed it. So that in character, I had robbed it from his father's house, and he had sent it back to his father. And there was so many little moments that were just like these little bits of stories that made sense for the character.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was the most fun. I cannot wait for E2.
Yeah.
Cannot wait for E2. But if you're going to go to Empire for the first time, if you're going to go to E2 or E3 or E4 and you're buying your first ticket, these guys have this code that you should have a look at in the description of this video. And this code gives you a discount on your first tickets.
It does.
It does. £15.
£15 off. Yep. And
Yeah.
you also help us out because we get £15 off or credit on our account, which really helps because we have to get over there from Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're not a new player, but you still feel like supporting us anyway because you're just so nice and we're so nice and professional, we do have you might know this as a professional content internet person.
Indeed.
Is it Ko-fi or coffee?
Ko-fi, I think. No, coffee, because it's literally meant to be buying you a coffee.
Coffee, yeah. It's spelled really... Anyway, we got one of those. That'll also be in the description. We're just called like Fake Swords. Real Feelings there as everywhere. So if you want to buy us a coffee or buy us part of a plane ticket, that would be great. We really appreciate it.
If you enjoyed this sojourn in the sunshine with us for these half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe stay a while and listen to some of our other content.
Yeah.
You can find our D&D podcast linked in the description.
Yes, that's called
Hearthfire Tales.
Hearthfire Tales.
Yes, very good. Or if you would like to take up arms with us and learn how to sword fight, why don't you go find Way of the Heron, which we're going to go and shoot right now.
Right now.
But more importantly, as we have a huge guest of honor with us, where could people find your content? Because this isn't the first time you've been on the internet.
Oh, it is. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've not done this for years. You can find me at Harker Ryan on literally every social media. I'm primarily a Twitch streamer. I make content on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter, and I actually have a YouTube channel that I don't use very much, but there will be a video about this on it very soon. So yeah, find me there. I make a lot of stuff with these guys now. Can't get rid of them, and they can't get rid of me.
we're
wormed
friends.
my way in here. I wormed my way in here like a little parasite, and now you can't get rid of me because I'm in LARP 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm proud of that.
That's
Excellent.
it. Bye.
That's it.
Bye.
Bye.